Hi everyone, we're here back at the orchard. Grandma Tanner has successfully made it to Kentucky and back. Um, her and Grandpa Tanner took my daughter, one of their favorite grandchildren, to back to Kentucky where she's working for the season. But we're here with Grandma Tanner and we are going to be doing apple pie bread today. I did post it on our Facebook page, the recipe, so if you look there, that's where it's posted. So, Grandma Tanner, let's start cooking.
Okay, it calls for this is a really simple bread recipe. It calls for a yellow cake mix, which I put in there, and then 1 cup of pre-sifted flour, and you just dump all that together.
It looks like you have more than flour in there,
I have 1 tablespoon of cinnamon.
Okay.
That's the main seasoning. And then 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. You always want salt when you use flour. And then 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Now, you can put your baking powder in the freezer if you don't do a whole lot of baking. Just put it in the freezer and then it won't go bad on you.
I do that with my flour.
Yeah, you can do it with flour and...
Because Grandma Tanner does all the baking in our family.
Yeah. So you mix that all up and you set it aside. So that's going to be all ready. Now, the next step is I did cut up the apples. I'm using Jonagold this time.
So those are diced up.
They're diced up apples, and I cut it with my little cutter, and then you peel it and chop it up real fine. Now, some people have a little chopper, but I just do it with my knife. And you chop an apple up. Jonagold is a very good baking apple. It's a cross between a Golden Delicious and a Jonathan. And our Jonagolds are really large this year, and they're beautiful. And they also make very good sauce.
And I always liked to use large apples when I had to peel them. Yes. Then there was less peeling, it seemed like.
Okay, now you take this pie filling.
Just 1 can of pie filling, huh?
1 can of pie filling, apple pie filling. One of our employees, Marge, gave this recipe to me. So I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. Now I have this big fork, and you mash those apples in that pie filling. Just mash them all up. It's got the slurry in there, the thickening. I'm not sure what kind of apples these are. Probably, they're fairly soft, so they're mashing very easily. Stir it all around. Mash it real good. I did spray my 2 pans, my cake pans, with you can butter and flour them, or you can just spray them. Now my chickens are laying eggs, and they're kind of small, and I broke one, and it was a double egg. So since these eggs are kind of small, I just went ahead and used 4 of them, and then the 3, and then the 1 double. So you mix this all together. My little beater, and here are the eggs. See how small they are?
Well, the recipe only calls for 4.
It calls for 4, but one of them was double, so I have 5 yolks.
Ah.
Because it's small. They're small. And you just mix this all together. The egg and the pie filling. Looks kind of,
Gross.
yeah, it looks like it's going to be bread. I'm going to beat
Looks
that
like
with
pudding.
my egg beater a little bit. Sometimes I think when the eggs, you fluff them up a little bit, and then your stuff rises a little better. Then you add all the dry ingredients to this. Now I'm going to just gradually add it and stir it in as I mix it. So it gets really thick because that's a whole cake mix and a cup of flour.
Oh, Grandpa Tanner's watching.
Oh, he is? He's already been in here because I made it Monday night.
I saw that there was a piece missing.
Yeah, there's a couple pieces missing. Before we went to Kentucky, I thought I would just make one so it's done, so everybody can see what it's going to look like.
How was your trip to Kentucky?
It was great. We had a really nice little getaway, and Brenda is working at a very nice farm. It's more of a pumpkin farm and entertainment, and she is helping with school tours today, and they said they have 500 children coming
Oh, wow.
in one day.
That's Trunnell's in Utica,
Yes.
Kentucky.
Very nice couple that are running that. They said they really like Brenda. Brenda's got all kinds of ideas when she comes back here to this farm. One idea that I thought would be really nice is that sunflower field they put in.
We tried this year, but it didn't rain after
The
after
rain.
Craig planted the sunflowers. We didn't get any rain.
Yeah, they had a little bit of trouble, but they were going to do 3 plantings and they didn't get it done, so they just dumped all the seeds together and planted one big planting. Turned out nice. So see how thick this is? You just keep beating. It's real doughy. And then you put this apple in there. Put all this stuff back here.
Well, you can tell she's not cooking for us. That she's going to feed employees there. She used a spoon to get all the little pieces out of the bottom of that bowl instead of her hand.
Yeah, I did have clean hands when I started this project. Okay, you just stir all those little pieces of apples in there. Real good. This bread is so moist.
I almost need a wooden spoon.
Almost. I got this nice little spatula that we sell here.
It's pretty stiff, huh?
It is pretty stiff. Yep.
Is that in the new book? The new cookbook?
No. This is from March, this recipe. So to get this evenly divided here, I like to spoon it in there because it's so thick, it's hard to pour it. You just divide this in about half here. It's really a simple recipe. Like I say, the only spice is cinnamon, but it's the yellow cake mix and a little salt and baking powder. Now this is the part that the children, mine always used to like to lick the dish.
Well, you know, you can't lick it anymore with the eggs in there.
No.
Hasn't stopped me yet, but
I think that's good. But it does not have any oil in it.
so what do you think? That's like a third of the way full or a quarter of the way full, those pans?
Probably almost a third.
I was never good at math.
Well, we can see once if I got too much in that first one. You just kind of press it around in here. I think there is a little bit too much in that one. Put a little bit over in this one. You want them kind of even so that they bake about the same. And it takes 45 minutes to
40 is this,
40 to 45 minutes.
and how do you tell when they're
325.
done?
I take the a toothpick and push it in the middle, and if you see that it's going away from the pulling away from the side of the pan, that's another good indication. That
Wait, you
it's
didn't
done.
finish the toothpick one.
Oh yeah, you pull the toothpick out, and if it doesn't have dough on it, it comes out clean, then it's usually done. So probably about 40 minutes, I would check that like that.
Okay.
And that's it. Now here is my finished product that I made the other day. Made 2 nice loaves. Little chunks of apples.
I wonder how that would be with some apple butter on it.
Ooh, that would be so good, Jenny.
Or even a little caramel drizzled on top.
Yeah, a little caramel drizzled with a few pecans. I think that would really make a nice dish.
So last week, I asked our viewers if they had any questions for you, and we had one lady. I forgot to bring the paper in, but I remember the question, but I don't remember her name. So if you're watching this week, I'm sorry that I forgot to bring that paper in. It's sitting at my desk. But she wanted to know how many children you have, and what, how many have come back to the farm, or what they're doing.
Well, we have 5, and 2 of the Jennifer and Craig are working here full time, and we have a daughter-in-law, our youngest son's wife is working. She does all the
Parties.
parties and the events, and helps Jenny a lot with entering all the gifts and the foods that we buy.
And she did the cookbook this year.
And she did the cookbook. So next week, I think we're going to do a pumpkin one, and I'm going to have her in here while introduce Jill.
Okay. So,
And then we have a grandson that works here full time, Jenny's middle son, and then Brenda will be coming back in November, and she's pretty much committed to be working here
yep,
full time.
she just moved into a house across the street, so she'll be in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Yep.
So, thanks for watching, everyone. That looked pretty easy. I think I could even make it. But if you have any questions that you'd like us to ask Grandma Tanner or even Grandpa Tanner, just let me know and we'll try to get to them.
We did have a customer come in and want to buy these little apple boards. We a couple years ago we had someone cut them, and we sanded them and wrote all the names on both sides. Each variety of apples has that, and we made them out of hard maple. So I was telling my husband today on the way home, I said, people want to buy those little boards, and he said, well, maybe. That young boy that does woodworking that comes in here all the time,
Blake,
we might have him do some of these.
that'd be a good job for him.
He could cut those out and get them all sanded out of hard maple, and maybe next year we'll have them.
All right.
But I don't know if we want varieties on them, but
Just tanners.
just tanners, yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, everyone.